Rabbi Chaim Vital, who lived from 1542 to 1620, and who was the outstanding pupil of the holy Arizal, tells us a wondrous story of how the Arizal came to study the Zohar and how he went about studying it. Let us take to heart not only the special significance the Zohar held for the Arizal, but also the time he spent studying it. Thereafter, we will learn another remarkable story regarding the great level the Arizal attained. The Ari had been married for about 2 years and was living in Egypt at the time our story takes place. One day, a merchant came to Egypt with an abundance of merchandise. He went to the synagogue to pray and seated himself opposite the Ari. In his hand, he held a handwritten manuscript. The Ari approached him and saw that the book contained great secrets. He asked the man who he was, what his work was, and what was written in the book. The man replied, "My master, what can I say? God has withheld honor from me, and I don't even know one letter in the Torah, because I am one of the Anusim. I am a Marranos from a family of Jews who was forced to hide their Judaism from the authorities, lest they find out about us and kill us simply for being Jewish. When I saw everyone in the synagogue praying from their Sidurim, I was so embarrassed that I took this book in my hand, a book I found some years ago, but I have no idea what is written inside it." The Ari asked the man if he would sell the manuscript to him, being prepared to pay him any price he asked, since in any case it had no value to him. The man replied that he did not lack basic sustenance, and he did not need to sell it, but asked the Ari to do him a favor. Since his father-in-law, who was also his uncle, was an important tax agent in Egypt, he requested the Ari to ask him to relieve him of the heavy taxes he was forced to pay for his merchandise. If the Ari would do this for him, he would give him the mysterious manuscript. The Ari desired the manuscript so much that he obliged, and the merchant handed over the manuscript. The Ari took the manuscript, which was actually the famous Zohar, the central work in the mystical tradition of Kabbalah, and secluded himself for a period of 6 years in the courtyard of his home, studying it. The Ari dedicated himself to learning this manuscript with great intensity. Sometimes he would spend an entire week on just one point until he was able to bring it to light. Sometimes he would be told in a dream that he had understood the Zohar correctly according to the opinion of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, but that there were even deeper messages to be understood. At other times, he was told in his dreams that he had understood correctly, but that it was not the intention of Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, and this was due to a particular error in the text. On other occasions, the Ari was told that to understand the text, he would need to undergo various afflictions first. During this time, the Ari would leave his courtyard and go to meditate in a particular village owned by his wealthy father-in-law. The village was close to the Nile River. The Ari remained there for another 6 years, returning home only on the eve of Shabbat. He would not speak to anyone, even his own wife, unless absolutely necessary, and then only in the holy tongue. Through all his good deeds, the Arizal merited Ruach HaKodesh, divine inspiration, and Eliyahu HaNavi, Elijah the prophet, may he be remembered for good, would reveal himself to him. Eliyahu would say, "Hashem has sent me to reveal to you all the secrets of the Torah. I will not hide any secret from you. Therefore, be strong and courageous, and do not stop doing all your good deeds. If you do as I instruct, you will become like the ministering angels above." The Ari also merited that every night his soul would ascend above into the heavenly realms, and the ministering angels would accompany him to the Heavenly Academy. There, they would ask him which yeshiva he wished to enter. Sometimes, he would ask to ascend to the yeshiva of the Rashbi, Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai. At other times, he would request the yeshiva of Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Eliezer the Great, other Tanaim and Amoraim, or even the prophets. To whichever yeshiva he requested, they would accompany him. The next day, following his nightly visions, the Ari would teach the sages all that he had heard in the yeshiva. The holy Chassid, Rabbi Abraham Azulai, once shared a wondrous story. Once, the Ari was sleeping one afternoon on Shabbat, and he saw that the Ari's lips were murmuring as he slept. Rabbi Abraham Azulai inclined his ear to listen to the Ari's words. Suddenly, sensing someone nearby, the Ari awoke to find Rabbi Abraham next to him. He asked him why he was so close. Rabbi Abraham apologized, explaining that he had seen his lips moving and had inclined his ear to listen. The Ari explained that whenever he slept, his soul would ascend above into the heavenly realms through the various paths and roads of the spiritual worlds known to him. But the ministering angels would bring his soul before one of the great malachim, one of the great angels above, and ask him which yeshiva he wished to enter. And then they would take him to it. In that yeshiva, he would study all the secrets, mysteries, and the hidden matters of the Torah that nobody had ever heard before, even in the times of the great sages known as the Tanaim. Rabbi Abraham begged him to reveal a secret. The Ari laughed and said, "I call heaven and earth to testify that if I were to live for 80 years straight without exaggeration, relating the secrets I had heard in just these few moments about the Parshah of Bilam's donkey, I would not be able to finish saying everything. Therefore, is it even possible for me to share one secret when it is all one connected theme?" It happened later that when he was in the yeshiva of the Rashbi, it was told to him, "Rabbi Yitzchak, what are you doing in this impure land? Go to the upper Galilee, to the city of Tzfat, and there you will merit to ascend to even greater levels." There, in the yeshiva of the Rashbi, they continued to tell the Ari, "Also, you should know that the days of your life are few, and it is in Tzfat that you will merit to be buried. There, you will anoint the great wise sage Rabbi Chaim Vital as a prophet and sage in your place, because he has a great soul, a spark of Rabbi Akiva. And also, you should know that once, in a previous incarnation in this world, you were his student, and it was he who had taught you much Torah then. Now you must pay him back his reward and teach him all the supernal secrets you have heard." And so began the Ari's journey to the holy city of Tzfat, a place filled with the greatest Torah sages of that time. It was a time of divine favor when the greatest sages of the time settled in this holy city, one of the 4 holy cities in the land of Israel, the others being Jerusalem, Hebron, and Tiberias. Here in Tzfat, they would learn and teach the entire Torah, both the revealed Torah and the hidden Torah. Never was there such a splendid time of Torah learning and teaching in one place as during that period in the 16th century. Here, the Shulchan Aruch, the authoritative guide to all Jewish law, was written by the great Rabbi Yosef Karo. Rabbi Moshe Alshich wrote his commentary on the Torah. It had been the home of Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, who wrote his Pardes Rimonim and other works on the deeper secrets of Torah. This is the place where Rabbi Eliyahu Davidash lived. He was the author of one of the greatest works in Musar, the Reishit Chochmah, a work teaching the highest levels of morality, ethics, and purity, and based on the teachings of the Holy Zohar. Rabbi Eliezer Askiri, the author of the famous work Sefer Charedim, lived in Tzfat too. His work teaches all about piety and ethics. Did you know it was Rabbi Eliezer Askiri who authored the famous song Yedid Nefesh, which is sung in synagogues all around the world to the most beautiful of tunes. Rabbi Moshe Tetrani lived here during this period too. He authored works on Jewish law. Rabbi Avraham Galanti, an outstanding Kabbalist, lived with these great sages too, as did his brother, Rabbi Moshe Galanti, an expert in Jewish law, ordained by Rabbi Yosef Karo at the tender age of just 22. Rabbi Yaakov Hillel, who had tried to reinstate the original smicha, rabbinical ordination, lived there too. The Arizal's own teacher, the great Rad Baz, who he had already known in Egypt, Rabbi David ben Shlomo Zimra, would find his way back to Tzfat from Egypt and lived there in his latter years of life too. The great mystic, Rabbi Yeshaya Horowitz, the author of the Shnei Luchot HaBrit, an ethical and mystical work, lived at that period of time in Tzfat also. He was known simply after the name of his book, the Tzfat HaKadosh. In fact, there were only 5 rabbis who have ever received the prominent title of holy in their names. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, mentioned earlier, was one. The Arizal, known simply as the Ari HaKadosh, was another. Rabbi Yeshaya Horowitz, the Holy Shlah, was another. Rabbi Chaim ben Atar, the great mystic known as the Or HaChaim HaKadosh, was another. And the 5th, Rabbi Yaakov Yitzhak Rabinovich of Peshiska. There were so many other great Tzaddikim who lived in Tzfat too. And today, one may go to the old cemetery there and pray for divine mercy, where all these giants of Torah are buried. And there in Tzfat lived the great Rabbi Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz, brother-in-law to Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, and the author of the famous song Lecha Dodi that we sing every Friday evening to greet the Sabbath bride. Indeed, it is with thanks to many of these great Tzaddikim that we were taught to run out to greet the Sabbath bride with the preparatory prayers of Kabbalat Shabbat. While these giants would literally go out into the fields to welcome the Shabbat bride, we today do so in our synagogues. With such a legacy of great Torah teachers who paved the way for us today, stemming from the holy city of Tzfat, let us take to heart and remember that it is through these great teachers who lived during that time that the power of the Torah is what it is today, and its teachings, both revealed and hidden, are accepted today as much as they were over 3,300 years ago when the Torah was given to the Jewish people at Mount Sinai. If you have enjoyed this story, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Feel free to offer your positive comments below and let me know if you've gained something from the video. Click the bell button to be notified of future videos, including more stories of the great Tzaddikim and further tales from the life of the Holy Ari.